Вы детям типа врете, а она говорит, все равно вы их не заберете, это дети России будут.
Imagine being a child, clutching your favorite toy when strangers in uniforms arrive. They tell you you're going on a trip, perhaps to a summer camp. You're scared, but gunpoint leaves no choice. You leave, hoping to return soon, but days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and home becomes a distant memory. That's the last day you ever see your parents. This is not a story from a dark dystopian novel. This is real-life horror unfolding in Europe. In the 21st century, Russia is kidnapping Ukrainian children. Thousands of them. They're being taken from occupied territories, sent deep into Russia, renamed, re-educated, adopted, and turned into something they are not. Their identity, their country, their memories are systematically erased. Since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, more than 20,000 Ukrainian children have been forcibly transferred into Russia and Russian-occupied territories. That's the official number tracked by Ukraine's government and international investigators. The real number could be higher, much higher.
Officially, the Ukrainian government has documented more than 19,000 children taken by Russia, but told us they worry the actual number could be closer to 300,000 children.
The children were told they were going to a summer camp. They ended up thousands of kilometers away, some as far as Siberia, others in Crimea, or even in the hands of Russian officials looking to publicly adopt Ukrainian children to show off their loyalty to the regime.
Самое главное, нужно любить свою семью, своих маму, папу, братья, сестры, кто имеется. И после этого уже ты будешь любить свою страну так же, как свою семью.
Мы будем все солдатами с крутыми автоматами. Мы будем помогать Россию охранять.
What happens to these children next is almost too grotesque to believe until you see the evidence.
They said we are going to the detention ward.
You were in isolation for 5 days?
Да,
Yes.
я бы, наверное, поверил.
One more day and I probably would have myself.
Russia has set up a network of so-called re-education camps that stretch from annexed Crimea to the Russian Far East. These are factories of identity erasure. Here, they are subjected to a curriculum designed to instill Russian language, culture, and loyalty.
Люблю что? Россию. Правильно.
Ukrainian history is rewritten or omitted, and the children are taught to view Russia as their true homeland.
Учитель сегодня – это человек, который прежде всего поведет за собой детей и поведет именно в нужном направлении, в нужное русло, направит их, поможет, особенно если это касается учеников начальной школы. Я вижу, что здесь есть большие проблемы, так как они были в свое время не нужны нацистской власти, но теперь здесь Россия.
In some camps, military training is introduced, preparing these young minds for potential future actions against their own nation. Children who were returned from captivity tell stories of how they were punished for speaking Ukrainian or talking ill of Russia. They are fed propaganda. They are taught that Ukraine never really existed, that Russia is their true motherland, and that their families, if they're mentioned at all, abandon them.
А Путин процветал, ведь как контроль над всей Украиной, Господи!
Many are forced to wear military uniforms, to sing the Russian anthem, to draw pictures of Russian tanks liberating Ukraine. Let's be absolutely clear, this is state-organized kidnapping. Many of these children had living parents. Some were in schools, hospitals, or foster homes temporarily separated due to the war. Russia swept in, claimed these children were abandoned and took them across the border without consent.
І вони стояли, русня, так кружили, щоб біля автобуса так пообкружували, так, що виводили під автоматами. Нас везли спочатку в Сватов, потім в Старобельськ, і потім це в Луганську перевезли.
Beyond the camps, a more permanent erasure occurs. Many children are placed with Russian families through coerced adoptions. Their Ukrainian names are changed and they are granted Russian citizenship, effectively severing ties to their origins. In some cases, high-ranking officials, including Lvova-Belova, Russia's Children's Rights Commissioner, have adopted these children, further legitimizing the practice.
Yes, 55. So the convention is adopted by this assembly by unanimous vote.
The 1948 Genocide Convention, Article 2, Point E, defines one act of genocide as forcibly transferring children of one group to another group with intent to destroy in whole or in part that group. This is not gray area, it's not up for debate. Russia is violating international law in one of the clearest, most grotesque ways imaginable.
The International Criminal Court has charged Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Commissioner for Children's Rights with the war crimes of unlawful deportation and transfer of children.
In March of 2023, they issued arrest warrants for Vladimir Putin and Lvova-Belova, the so-called Children's Rights Commissioner of Russia, who proudly announced on Russian TV that she had adopted a Ukrainian child herself.
Сами ребенка условили из Мариуполя.
Да. Владимир, ну благодаря вам.
Маленький.
Нет, 15 лет. Теперь я знаю, что такое быть мамой ребенка с Донбасса. Сложно, но друг друга точно любим.
Самое главное.
Это да. Я думаю, что совсем же справимся, правильно?
Конечно.
Parents in Ukraine are desperately searching for their sons and daughters.
Для меня он все.
He means everything to me. He's my life. I love him very much.
Some have managed to get a handful back through underground networks, NGOs, and international pressure, but each case is a logistical nightmare. The children who make it back describe a life of confusion, punishments, and emotional abuse. Some were told their parents were dead. Others were warned that Ukraine was evil and that they must never return.
The European Union is not silent in light of Russia's unlawful deportation or transfer of Ukrainian children. This is a terrible crime, inflicting unimaginable suffering. The perpetrators of these crimes must be held accountable. These children must return to their families and to their communities.
On May 8th of 2025, the European Parliament spoke with near unanimity on a moral issue. Overwhelmingly passed a resolution condemning Russia's abduction of Ukrainian children and demanding their immediate return. Lawmakers from across the political spectrum, Greens, Conservatives, Socialists, even the ones who usually can't agree on sandwich fillings, voted to demand the immediate return of Ukrainian children kidnapped by Russia. 516 voted in favor, only 3 voted against it. Among those who managed to contort their spines into abstention was none other than Cyprus's most surprising contribution to the continental politics, Fidias Panayotou. Better known until recently for YouTube stunts, hugging strangers in Times Square, and for filming himself pretending to be homeless on YouTube.
Oh my God! Thank you!
Thank you. Okay.
Now he's pretending to be neutral in a genocide.
I'm a member of the European Parliament, and today we're going to vote if the EU countries should keep sending weapons and money to Ukraine. And I decided to vote against.
Fidias now sits in the European Parliament and defends war crimes from a member of the European Parliament chair. Our pro-war crimes blogger lately claimed he simply wasn't sure if all the 20,000 Ukrainian children wanted to return home.
So you agree Russia is guilty of kidnapping tens of thousands of Ukrainian children and they should be returned?
I think there is a lot of children, because they said 20,000, because they said 20,000, because some of the kids there, they might want to be.
What are you talking about? What do you mean they want to be? They are children that were kidnapped by Russia. What do you mean they want to be?
This is not a complicated, nuanced political issue. You do not need a PhD in international law to know this is just wrong. Forcibly transferring children from one group to another is an act of genocide. Russia is doing that on an industrial scale, and 3 members of the European Parliament couldn't bring themselves to say stop. It's shameful, and it's cowardly, and it should never ever be forgotten.
I asked them not to separate me from my family. They did it anyway. I want people to hear that my mom is held captive, so that they can help free her.
So here we are, in the heart of Europe in the year of 2025, we are having to pass resolutions to remind people that stealing children is wrong. There will come a day when this war ends, but for thousands of Ukrainian children, the war won't end when the bombs stop falling. It will end only when they are found, when they are returned, when they are told the truth about who they are and where they come from. Until then, we cannot look away. We cannot play diplomatic games or tiptoe around Russian propaganda.
Images of happy kids are the propaganda Russia wants the world to see.
We must call this what it is, a state-run campaign to erase a nation by targeting its children. And the next time these members of the European Parliament who defend Russian interests in Brussels appear on a stage or a screen, smiling for cameras talking about human rights and values, remember this vote. Remember who stood with stolen children and who stood in their way.
Там одной девочке был украинский флаг в комнате. Потом этот Астахов зашел, его спалил. И типа говорит, главный типа за безопасность, типа там.
Ну і що, він зірвав прапор і спалив його?
Да, такой маленький флаг.
При вас спалив?
Да, он говорит, идемте и будете смотреть, как ваша страна горит.